What up, world? It's your boy E-Dub, a.k.a. Eric C. Wilson, and this is week 7 of the ROE. And, of course, I got my man back in the building, the one and only Lance LaRosa. Lance, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
So, here we are, people. And as I told y'all, it was going to happen. Minnesota got their first loss to us. Oh, Sam Bradford, don't you wish you would have played a little harder? Don't you wish you would have been just a little more productive when you played for Philadelphia? Now, look, I called y'all. I said it last week. I called 7. I got 6 sacks on that brother. Man, I'm going to shut up. Let Lance talk about it, but y'all know how I feel. I'm happy. I'm happy.
I think the one thing that Sam Bradford wishes for this week was that his pads were a little thicker. He got hit a lot. We got through 6 sacks.
Yes.
Hit him a lot that when he just getting the ball off. Up until this game, his stats looked amazing. He had the best completion percentage in the league.
Of course.
And he couldn't complete shit.
Ran into everything possible. First off, Nolan Carroll in the end zone with the interception. That was number 1. Then you had Benny Logan just hitting him from left side, right side. Bradford could not get the ball out of his hands quick enough. And this was a guy who was averaging roughly getting the ball out of his hands within 2 to 2.5 seconds. This brother couldn't get he got squat, nada. If you took took his hand back, people, by the time he tried to move it, ball was gone.
When that happened, that's called, and that was one of those great fumbles that we had.
Oh my goodness! But
okay, now I did want to talk about something because I dubbed the first quarter of this game Turnover Palooza.
Oh my God, yes.
I was like, we're doing it. We're not doing it. We got the interception. We fumbled the ball. Oh, okay. They fumbled the ball. Oh, we got it back. Oh, we threw an interception. What the hell's going on?
Listen, you and I were at separate, if you can believe this, people. Lance and I were at separate Eagles bars watching this game. And I'm sure if him and I were together, hands would have been thrown up in the air. We'd have been yelling at the TVs. Like, I was in Orlando with my wife, and Kath could just see the expression on my face like, oh, Jesus, I got to spend the entire day with my husband if the Eagles lose to Minnesota, of all teams. It's one thing to lose to somebody, but if then I lose to Sam Bradford, oh, I'd have been, you might have just locked me in the hotel room for the rest of the time we was together.
I was down in an Eagles bar in Port Charlotte, Florida, and it's a loud Eagles bar. I was asked to move outside because I was too loud for the Eagles bar.
There was no... Listen, when we were at the Wing Shack in Orlando, let me just tell y'all, shout out to the owner, Casey. Great guy. Definitely want to talk to him a little bit more about doing some stuff because this man flew back from Virginia Beach just to be a part of this. But you walk into the bar, 25 TVs, and 23 of them got the Eagles game on. Nothing but a sea of green. There was one Minnesota woman sitting at the bar, and I actually felt bad for her. Now, I'm sure she was there with her man, but I was like, girlfriend, you may not want to. And but you know what? Props to her. Stayed the whole game. Let's talk about our offense. Do we see them finally clicking on all cylinders?
I think that it's they've shaken the rust off.
Okay.
They started really strong, had the bye week, and I don't know if maybe the bye week was too early too early as it was coming into the season. I don't know if it was the bye week happening with the whole change of Lane Johnson being gone, right. Big V having to step up, right. And his first week he wasn't great, but he picked up. He showed a different player this game.
Right.
He showed the player he's supposed to be. He got those opening game jitters off, and I think finally things are clicking on cylinders.
Yep.
We've got our running game it's working because we've got such a distinct running back core with such distinct styles of play where depending on which running back you're putting in, you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't know is this gonna be a finesse run? Is this gonna be a power run? And most of that is because you can't see who's running. They're too tiny in comparison to the rest of the guys.
I mean, between Matthews, Smallwood, Darren Sproles, hell, you even throw Josh Huff in the mix a little bit. Our offense is supporting every single running back that we have.
Do we have to put Josh Huff back in running?
We don't. But what I'm seeing out of him is we're utilizing him not just in the wide receiver position because he had a great day, both on offense and defensively.
And special teams.
And
he made up for that fumble, but I don't know if you put that on Carson Wentz, if you put that on him. So it's a handoff, people. It's a handoff. And you drop the goddamn ball?
Listen, I know. But I'm expecting that out of Ryan Matthews. So when I see that of Josh Huff, I'm not too upset. When I see that of Ryan Matthews, I'm like, dude, this is what your position is. This is your job. You're the running back. Hold on to the damn ball. So I'll tell you, I'll try not to cuss today, but this is going to come out. Y'all know how we do. This is ROE. But our defense totally rebounded from what happened in Detroit, which I don't blame them for that, but what happened against the Redskins, like I told y'all last week, Jim Schwartz was going to correct, fix the mistakes. I mean, I'm not saying we were flawless. We had Beyonce, but what I'm saying to you is we did what needed to be done against Sam Bradford, and even I was a little skeptical because my man Stephon Diggs, who I do love, was playing, and I was like, oh, hell. I was like, man, not Stephon. I was like, anybody else I wouldn't be so mad about, but Stephon Diggs, bro, come to Philadelphia. We need somebody. I want to get to something in a little bit. I want to ask you a question. But more importantly than that, we are now trending upward. Lance, it's that time, bro. It's that time of the year. It happens twice a year, and I'm not as amped as I was last week against Minnesota, but this is going to be, in my opinion, I know I've said it week in and week out, but truly, 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 this is going to be our biggest test. What's going to happen this Sunday night against a team that we can't stand. And anybody who's an Eagles fan knows exactly who I'm talking about, because I'm not even going to mention their name, because we don't mention their name on ROE. We just don't talk about them. But that offensive line, they've got a young running back who is running over people. They've got a young quarterback
who's just honestly like
he's
one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, and I hate to say I dislike it, but I have to give him credit. The question is, what happens with Jerry Jones? Because that's what it comes down to. Because we all know Jerry Jones loves his boy Tony.
He does.
Like, they golf together.
Right.
They're besties.
Right.
And a couple of things go on here. I'm torn from several different directions.
Okay.
First and foremost, for Tony Romo and his family, it's time. I mean, do you get back in the game? Do you go against one of the most smash-mouth defenses in the league with that you've played many times? You know the hits to expect. That has to make you wince to think about your ribs, to think about your collarbone, to think about your back, to think about your neck, to think about the fact that with all of your injuries coming off of back surgery, are you going to come back in and risk it?
He was on the field today. Granted, he was limited in practice, but he was on the field today. But not playing the full 11 on 11, but he was out there.
I feel like that's just hype. I feel like there's no way they can put him in that situation. I mean, you've got honestly, if Prescott keeps it up, you've got your next franchise QB. You've got your next possible. You've got what Romo can never live up to. You've got your next possible Troy Aikman.
Listen.
You've got what they've been looking for. They've got everything firing on all cylinders. His timing with the receivers is spot on. Yeah, they're 5-1. They lost a game, but that's going to happen in this league.
Right.
I've not seen, and I go back to the beginning of the season because honestly, I knew they were going to be the biggest threat in the division. I knew looking at it that Romo was going to get hurt pretty early on. I actually had a bet about that, and he didn't even make it to the season, so that was a fun bet.
There you go.
But I knew that they were going to be a powerhouse, and they are. And we're now looking at that defense, and we have to sit at our defense, at what their offense can do, and the way they're playing, and it really just... I see some threats. I see some issues. I see them as being great, which sucks because I hate to say that about that team. I really do. And I want them to come in and be the next Minnesota. I want them. I want to see the game, and I want to see the crush. I don't want to see Romo back in because I don't want to see him get hurt. And I really think that's what's going to happen. And I know that sounds kind of weak-kneed on it. But
No.
I don't like Peyton Manning, but when he hurt his neck, I was like, oh my God, is he going to be all right?
Let me put it to you like this. You're a human being first and foremost. Forget about anything that happens along the football lines. We are human beings. We don't want other people to get injured, okay? I will be totally objective, and then I'll give you the ROE, the Philly fan in me side of things. So the objective part is, Tony Romo, you have a family, okay? It's not worth it. I'm sorry you haven't won a championship. You've been in positions to make a run. You've been unsuccessful. Okay, you have a family to look out for. You have made plenty of money in your life. So you know what? Either A, be a backup quarterback, And who knows, maybe, just maybe, that other team might get you where you were unable to take them. And if you get something out of it, congratulations to you. Ride off and do your own thing. Okay? I never want anybody to be paralyzed and not be able to enjoy their life. And I truly mean that. Yep. Forget about the fact of teams or anything like that. That's the objective side of me. Okay? Now you look at the Eagle side of me. And this is how it is. It's very simple. Do you remember what happened last year when you beat us 20-10 in Lincoln Financial when we had Chip Kelly as our coach? Mm-hmm. And we put you on your backside and put you out for 8 weeks and Dallas couldn't win one single game without you? And now you want to come back to face the exact same team that hurt you. And now they're going to hurt you in your home stadium. Ooh. Do you really want that? That is the question you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself. Because I'm sorry, if that's what you want, then guess what? The same thing I said to Sam Bradford, I'm going to say to you. You made your bed, be prepared to lie in it. Oh, yeah, because what we did to Sam Bradford last week is nothing compared to what's going to happen to you. The only difference is when we take you out, you gone. You're not coming back.
You best like that bet. You be lying down for a while.
It's done. Make no mistake about it. This will be the final nail in the coffin if you come back Sunday night against Philadelphia.
Hell, I'm taking bets on which part of the body is going to break. Is it going to be your back? Is it going to be your collarbone?
It doesn't. Augusta wind blows him. Augusta wind blows him and he's done. Do not come back. But if you do, be prepared to be handed the ass whooping that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to hand you. Because if there's one team in the NFL, one team that we cannot stand, you hate us, we hate you. Bottom line, this game is going to be the best Sunday night football game we have seen in 7 weeks. Oh, yeah. You heard it here first. And compared to what happened with Seattle and Arizona and that bullshit 6-6 tie that I fell asleep on, it's inconceivable to think.
What I love about when we play this team is that it's never over. It can be 13 seconds left, and they're punting the ball, and oops, looks like we caught it and ran it back.
Right.
Like, this is a division game. You don't know what's going to happen, but I'll tell you this. Watch it. Watch what happens every week. There are going to be some girls walking off that field. They're going to be hurt.
Philly and the other team, when you two play each other, it's smash mouth football at its best.
Hell, Carson Wentz tackled someone this week and he got hurt.
I know.
Like, our quarterback tackles you and he gets hurt. What do you think is coming down?
Give you, as Stephen A. Smith says, Tony Romo, if that does not give you cause to pause, my brother, please understand. Go back and look at all the tapes of when you faced Philadelphia. Go back and look at what has happened to you when you've played us. Whether it be Thanksgiving, whether it be the game where you did beat us 20-10, but then you were out for 8 to 10 weeks. Tony Romo, don't do this to yourself. I'm pleading with you as a human being, as a man. Don't do it. But if you do it, if you decide to walk that aisle, if you decide to get yourself involved in this game on Sunday, bruh, I wish you nothing but the best, but you but to feel the worst.
And I say thank you very much because we win, you come back in the game. Yeah, there's no question about it. With Prescott, we got to work really hard. I mean, you're accurate on the long ball. At least you used to be.
But he's got Dez back. Dez is back.
Dez is back. And they have great connections, but can he move like he used to? He just had fucking back surgery.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This is ROE, baby. This Eagles talking, okay? It's going to get dropped. Every once in a while, it's going to come out. And especially when it comes to this team. What I'm saying to you point blank is, I know we're supposed to recap Minnesota, but they done it over with. We handled our business against them. What I'm saying to you right now is next week, it's going to be one of two things. Actually, I'll say one of three things I'm going to give you. Number one, Dak against Carson Wentz is going to be the continuation of the rivalry that is Philadelphia versus, I'll say, Jerry World. Number two, Tony Romo comes back and we win, and Tony Romo is officially out of the NFL. Or number three, and I'm not even going to go there with this, but I'll go for the argument's sake of argument. Dak finds a way to beat us. Ezekiel Elliott finds a way to beat us. Jason Witten, Cole Beasley, Terrence Newman, Dez Bryant finds a way to beat us. And next week, I'm not going to be as emotional. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be angry. But I'm also going to look and say, for the first time probably ever in my life, I'm going to say I will respect the fact that this team, for one game, got the better of us.
Well, and to jump in on this, one thing that I'm really interested about next week, and I know we're supposed to go through everything that happened this week, but we're looking at 2 rookie QBs who honestly rank as some of the best, like 2 of the best in the league, but the 2 best rookie QBs that we see in the league, 1 and 2. And the only reason it's 1 and 2 with Prescott above is the W column.
Right.
And you put them 2 against each other, and you put Prescott against our defense, our confuse you, our bring the blitz, run the zone, pick you off in the end zone defense, and it's going to be, I think, probably his first true test. Now, one thing that I've heard be said earlier this season is we started off soft, and we have strength of schedule wise the hardest schedule in the league.
Yes,
I like that.
Of course,
because what that means is we're a team that steps it up.
Right.
I want to go into the postseason. No, we played the best teams. We know what they can do. We know what we can do, and we're going to take them with us.
Think of it like this: 2 out of the 5 teams that we have played this season are proverbial odds-on favorites to make it to the postseason, and we beat both of them. Mm-hmm. We beat both of them at home, but we still beat both of them. I am going to go out on a limb and predict we do not lose a game at home this season. Ooh. I predict that our home record will be 8-0. Our losses will come with us on the road because Carson Wentz, as our rookie, has to get familiar with what it's like to go into hostile territory. Mm-hmm. He did it against the Bears. Okay, great. But when he went to Detroit, I blame the refs.
Yeah, no, that was...
But when we went to Washington, when we went up against a divisional opponent, that was our first real shot at what our quarterback's going to be. So now we're going into the most hostile territory on Sunday night with a rookie quarterback, and not to mention, we haven't even talked about it. This is for first place in the division.
This is for first place in the division. This is finally our O-line is firing on the proper cylinders. They put Big V in. There was a moment of adjustment. He's picking up. He's no longer staring at the bright lights going, oh man, what do I do? It's my first game. I got the jitters. He got, just like it took him a while, but he did get his feet under him in the Washington game. But unfortunately, at the beginning of that game, it cost him.
Right.
Now, he's got his feet under him. He understands what a divisional opponent is. He's going to see it. I mean, my fear is that, the rookie's going to have too much fun. That's a fun town to play around in. Play around after you win.
No.
That's all I'm saying. Play around after the win.
The one thing I love about our quarterback is he is focused.
No, he is.
And he understands what it takes for us to be successful.
He holds the team accountable.
He does.
You see the conversations on the sidelines when there's a drop ball or whatever.
Yes.
You see the you got to be kidding me face when he breaks 3 guys and throws a ball to a guy and it bounces off his hands. He's like, you playing with me?
Right.
You see what I just did? You can catch a damn ball.
Right. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm sure we're going to talk about this game a lot more next week, of course, as we recap it. Going back to Minnesota, you said it last week, Lance, and I have to agree with you. I'm okay with them losing, but I expect us to see them in the postseason.
Yeah.
I really do. I expect a rematch between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs.
I do.
Because if there's one thing that I have learned more than anything else when it comes to football is karma, payback, is a bitch. This is stinging Minnesota right now. Mm-hmm. They want us in the postseason.
Oh, yeah.
So they're on our bandwagon right now because they're like, no.
I want them at home in the postseason.
It's not going to happen. The only way it's going to happen, unless Minnesota goes on this tear, which I hope they do, of losing, and we continue elevating and getting better and better and better, which I
think
see
we're back on the rise.
No, I agree with you. But we're also one game behind them,
mm-hmm.
and if they pick up the pieces like we've seen them do, kind of quick, fast, and in a hurry, I'm sorry to say this, Minnesota could very easily slide into that number 1 slot.
Absolutely, they can take it, and if we take them we can beat them at home. We are a cold weather team.
Yes, we are.
We are hit you in the snow kind of team. We are run the ball. I want to see it happen.
But what I have not seen us do well is play in a dome.
Yeah.
And Minnesota is in the Dome.
No, we do play well in the Dome because we play every year in the Dome with the biggest stupid Jumbotron in the world that the punts and all the kicks get reflected off of. But, like,
With that, we're going to end this. This has been great. Of course, we call it the ROE, but this is what we do. We talk about last week and we forecast on to next week. So, for your man, Lance Sarosa, this is your man, E-Dubs, a.k.a. Eric C. Wilson. Sunday, Whole Nother Level is going to be at Old School. Tuesday, I do the show at the studio. And then, of course, my man and I, we give you this each and every week. Shout out to everybody who listens to us and chimes in. We appreciate all the love. We will talk to y'all next week. We might, depending on if Lance comes over on Sunday. I know we got a lot of stuff going on. I know you do, and it's cool. But if Lance comes over on Sunday, we may give you a special edition of ROE Sunday night after the game, depending on what happens. I can't promise that, but we may. But anyhow.
Yeah, like if the Eagles are doing too good, I'm going to be too drunk.
Yeah, you think you're going to be by yourself? I mean, this is what we do. So, anyhow, Lance Sarosa, your man E-Dubs. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.